You know what sound that is, folks. You bet. That's another noon whistle. I'm Chris Trottier.
And I'm John Anzalone. And we're here today, sorry about that, with Jesse Adams from Adams Power at 801 North Wisconsin Street in Elkhorn here. Thanks for stopping by, Jesse.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks.
Hey, I'm going to put you on the spot right away. We'll do a little speed dating drill here. Are you ready for this?
Sure, go ahead.
All right. All I want from you is a yes or no. All right. Adams Power, things they provide. You guys provide troubleshooting solutions.
Yes.
Whole home wiring.
Yes.
Agricultural.
Yes.
Custom solutions.
Yes.
Industry wiring, power, HVAC, the whole thing.
Yes.
Commercial.
Yes.
Generators.
Yes.
Solar.
Yes.
Home lighting controls.
Yes.
Landscaping.
Yes.
Safety updates.
Yes.
Pure wiring.
Yes.
Wow. Is there something that you guys don't do, Jesse?
We don't do concrete work, although that's not true. We just poured our own concrete patties. Don't worry. We do services.
If I was to stop by for a taco burger basket, is that possible?
We're currently building the Taco Bell across the street, so I'm sure we can figure it out. And we have a kitchen here, so.
Well, Jesse,
right.
we
you guys
appreciate you
got
being
it all.
here. We appreciate you being here, and we're excited to have you. You know, when John and I started, we've tried to offer this up to all our local businesses, and most importantly, the district's great partners. And so let's kind of start off with just give the viewers, if they don't know, a little history on Adams Power, where it started, how you ended up in your location, how you've evolved.
Sure. Yeah, we Adams started as Adams Electric, actually, out of the back of my dad's house, Ben Adams. He and my mother, Donna Adams, started the company back in 1988. So started out of the back of the house. The first phone call was from some lady at church who felt bad for them and called them to change a ceiling fan, I think. The company that he was working for prior to that had actually gone out of business. And so he had a decision point on his end. Do I go to work for somebody else or do I hang out my own shingle? And so from there, evolved into a shop in the backyard. Ultimately, about 16 years ago or so, moved into Elkhorn over on Nathan Lane. And most recently, 2019, we bought this old Century grocery store, moved in here, and then expanded to the facility next door, the old Cycles Plus as well at 701. So this is kind of our main building, if you will. And we've grown over the years. We started as an electrical contractor, but about 10 years ago, added standby power generators. That team has grown to be number one in the state of Wisconsin and Illinois for Generac generators. They're doing a great job. And we also added our Smart Tech solution in 2019, which is our low voltage kind of whole house audio visual, or in businesses as well, conferencing and everything else. And then the green energy revolution that's upon us finally came to a point where it made sense for us to enter into that business. So we added solar in 2020, along with in and around there was HVAC, plumbing, and that kind of rounds out our services of everything that we do here at the company.
What year did you start with the company?
I was living and working out in Washington, D.C., which is where I met my wife. And we, what's that?
Good plug there. Good plug there.
Yeah, always gotta.
Yeah.
So I moved back in January 2015. It's kind of an inflection point for the business. Where Ben Adams was trying to figure out what was next. And I ended up coming back to just get involved and help out wherever I could.
What were you doing out in D.C.?
I've got a bit of an unconventional track here. So I grew up in the business always, and one of 7 kids. There was basically 3 primary categories. You worked, went to school, went to church. Those were the 3 things. So, on nights and weekends, and certainly summer times was always filled with work. Going out in the field and pickup truck with my dad, or I've got a famous story where I convinced a buddy of mine to come and work with us for the summer. One summer we were 13 years old, and my dad dropped us off at a location and said, "Hey, here's a couple bars and a pickaxe and a shovels. You got to dig from point A to point B across this gravel compacted driveway. I'll see you boys this afternoon. You got enough water?" Yep. And that was the last day that my buddy ended up working at the company because he quit that day. But so I always grew up in and around the business. ended up going to school in the Boston area, pursuing a degree in business and economics, but always had a fascination with politics and how the political policy environment shapes our lives and how it certainly impacts small businesses like ours. And so after school, I was moving down to Washington, D.C. to work at a business consultancy because I figured if you're going to do that, you're going to work in the mix and be around the environment. But before I started there, I actually got a job offer from a political committee, and they offered me the job same day that I went for the interview, and so I took that, and the rest is history. So I spent several years out there working for a political committee that focused on state politics in all 50 states, from lieutenant governors to attorneys general, secretaries of state, judicial races, and certainly legislative races across the country. So
Jesse, you've not only created a company in the sense of, the customer experience, I know is very important to Adams. Service is very important to Adams, but you've created a culture within, right? I mean, you have an actual stated culture plan.
Yeah, no, culture is most important to us. We say culture eats strategy for breakfast, right? And our desire has always been to have a robust culture. We say it probably every single Christmas time at our company Christmas party, that everybody in the room, all of our team members that work with us, could get a job somewhere else tomorrow. But it means something to us that they choose to work here at Adams. And so that's ours to lose. We work incredibly hard to try and be the best place to work anywhere, not just in construction, but anywhere in the county. And all of that is about culture, which ultimately is informed and driven by our core values as a company.
I think you've done I've toured there. I brought kids over. You're obviously, you hire youth apprentices. What are some of those key values that you guys articulate? Because I know when I've walked through, I've heard them echoed multiple times.
Yeah, it's hard to miss. They're on the walls. They're hanging in the hallways. They're in the shop. We've got every team member's got actually a laminate card with the core values on them, and they're integrity, people, partnership, excellence, and attitude. And so those are kind of the hallmark features. We say integrity is the foundation of everything that we do. We'll not sacrifice it for professional gain or monetary value. It's a tricky thing being in the construction industry. There's a lot of folks that don't do things the right way, or the consumers feel like they've been taken advantage of. And so to us, a good name is worth more than great riches. And so integrity is the foundation. But next being people, is we value people. And at the end of the day, none of this stuff matters. More buildings, more trucks, more opportunities from a revenue standpoint. It's really goes down to our core passion, which is we exist to make a positive impact in the lives of our team members, their families, and the communities in which we serve. Because that's, at the end of the day, you can't take any of this with you, and it's that legacy, that impact that really matters to us. And then, of course, attitude, right? We want people with can-do optimism, relentless determination, men and women who have grit and are, in today's environment can show up and get the job done. And then excellence, we want to be excellent in everything that we do. We want to be a market leader in the craftsmanship that we have. And so we hold ourselves to the highest standards, and ultimately partnership, which is why we're on the phone today with you guys, because we value partnerships with our local high schools and community partners. We're looking for long-term committed partnerships. And we see it as we want to be an integral part of the growth and prosperity of our partners. It's not a one-way street. It certainly is a two-way operation here.
Well, speaking of your partnerships, talk a little bit. I don't know if everybody knows this, but you are a board member, Jesse, for Gateway Technical College.
That's right.
And you guys have just transitioned to your new president. So talk a little bit about your role on that board and kind of some of the work that, you see that's important in the Gateway community.
Yeah, I've been on the board of trustees for Gateway Technical College now for about 5 years. We're obviously huge believers in technical education, understanding that the 4-year traditional higher education pathway is not the only pathway for folks, and that's been a primary push for a lot of years in education. But the dignified work and the long-term careers and the opportunities that men and women can have in an industry like ours, in the trades and construction, is unbelievable. And we're pretty proud that we well exceed the mean average income for the county with our men and women who work here every day and do great work. And they didn't have to go to college to get that done. But Gateway does a great job, building up the next generation of workforce. They exist within this Tri-County region, Walworth County, Racine, and Kenosha, to tool up and skill up the workforce so that men and women can come to Gateway, gain tangible, real educational experiences, and then bring that back into their place of employment to create a better opportunity for themselves and their families, because they can earn more wages, they can create better career opportunities, et cetera. And so we've long been a fan of Gateway. I think largely speaking in Walworth County, people don't really realize the breadth and the expansiveness of the college, which is something we've been working pretty hard to educate with business roundtables and things like that over the years, because the customizable training opportunities for businesses in our area to invest back into the community is substantial. And we'll talk about it here later, but our Adams Academy, where we train the next generation workforce, we've got highly customized Gateway Technical College instructors coming on here on a weekly basis, training our young men and women. So they're integral to the growth and prosperity of our communities. They're integral to helping skill up the workforce that we need so desperately. And can't say enough good things about Gateway. And we're really pleased with our new president, Dr. Ritu Raju, who's joined. He came all the way from Texas to take
Yes, he did.
After Brian Albrecht did a phenomenal job for the last 16 years leading that institution.
Well, anything you can do to continue to bring more trades opportunities for our kids out here in the Elkhorn community, we would appreciate it. So we're looking forward to those opportunities. So obviously, Adams Power is experiencing a lot of success. You've talked about where you started with your dad and now where you're at. What do you see as opportunities and possibly challenges in the future for, not only the building trades, but Adams Power?
Yeah, it's a great question. There's always challenges, right? When you've got a business, there's always things to be considering and what's on the horizon. Stuff that comes down from the federal level or just the macroeconomic environment that we're in. But I think, obviously, that no surprise that the interest rates have really increased the cost of capital, and so you're seeing a lot of slowdown in the commercial industrial space. So companies that are expanding facilities or building new buildings or all those different things, all the work that we do, obviously they're putting some of that on hold. It's been pretty strong up until now, but you're starting to see a little bit of that slowdown coming. I think surprisingly in this area, given the demand that we have, housing continues to push forward. There's obviously a housing shortage, which is a real big problem that we want to be a part of the solution on. But, I think at some point in time, there's possibilities where housing slow down, new home builds and things like that could obviously come into play. But from an opportunity standpoint, we're pretty optimistic. We're always looking to the future and believe that anything's possible with the enough sweat and hard work and all that good stuff. So, certainly from a green energy standpoint, for a long time, we stayed out of the solar industry because we didn't feel like it was an equitable delivery to our customers, and that, you were getting some antiquated equipment or where technology wasn't fully developed and it wasn't the right solution. It was very expensive and the payback was over many, many years. And there's lots of question marks. But over the last couple of years, that's dramatically changed, and so we're installing solar panels and battery storage technology on houses every single day at this point.
Wow!
And you think that with federal incentives being what they are, and a federal prerogative to continue to press forward on green energy solutions as opposed to fossil fuel technology, there's going to be an increasing demand for those services and products. Especially considering the age of our electrical grid in America. Mm-hmm. We're really in a bad spot on that. And most people aren't aware or understanding what that looks like. But all the more reason why green energy and backup standby power is going to be critical going forward.
But yeah, and I think you've been so flexible and adaptable, and not only a good community partner, but you've just done things that seem like very calculated, very educated when you make those moves. I think it's impressive. And I think stepping back to what you said about your values, that anybody that goes in there can see that and feel that. I know the times I've been in there, like, you're greeted right away. What can I do to help you? If that's getting someone else, like, people are stepping out going, hey, what could I do to help you? Your showrooms are unbelievable. I think, it's impressive what you guys have done in all the areas of our community that you're involved in.
I appreciate that, John. And I guess what I'd say is, we say it here, our people are our power, kind of play on the words with Adams Power and being what it is. But truly, I mean, the success that we've had as a company and everything that we've been able to accomplish is a reflection of the high caliber men and women that are here, and people that share those core values and that go out and do good work every day. We do a lot of hard stuff, and so it takes the right people to go out and do that. And we're certainly most proud of our people for sure.
When your plumbing people had got a hold of me, and they actually came out to the school this year. They had like a plumbing group get together, and we're playing dodgeball, and they had music going. And I thought, like, how great is this that there's a section of the company here in the evening just getting together and having a good time. I mean, I think that speaks of what you do.
Yeah, those guys are a motley crew. They work hard and play hard. The plumbers say that they're better than everybody else in the team, so they're really proud of the work that they do. Very competitive, have friendly competition internally.
Well, we're at that time, John. Any shout outs and thank yous you want to pass along?
Yeah, just appreciate you guys having us on the program today. Thanks for the good work that you're doing to advance career and technical education that feeds into companies like ours. Shout out to Gateway Technical College. Really appreciate the work that they're doing for our communities. Certainly Jason Tadlock and the whole Elkhorn School District that you guys are part of and the work that you two are doing. Really, really appreciate the partnership and look forward to continuing to work together as we go forward in the future.
Sounds good. John, you got anybody?
Yeah, I'm going to throw one out to Frank and Stephanie Luptow for all their years running Frank's, the grocery store,
Absolutely.
All their community involvement. And they're wonderful people. I hope Hanson's continue it, and they've done so much for our community as well. So great retirement to them. I hope they get to do whatever they want to do.
I'm sitting here in the Waseda office, so I'm going to shout out to Derek Dioria, who is really working hard on every aspect of increasing economic development here in Walworth County. And as the executive director for Waseda, he's in every space, and I know he's working hard to make this a better place, and a rising tide lifts all boats. And on that note, Jesse, thanks for joining us. Thanks for being a great partner. And let's follow up with a traditional way to end our program, and that is have a good day, everybody.
Thanks, appreciate it.